Brian, I want again to say a special thank you for fitting in so nicely tonight and for making an impact, a positive one, to the show. I want to thank the callers, and tonight I was impressed by the quality of calls, the focus on the areas which were the subject of presentations by the panelists. To the farmer, Easton Mawson, who raised the matter with respect to the support for farmers to be able to get vehicles, especially where the farms are located in the hills. We are with you on that one. And my understanding of the government policy is that every genuine farmer who is active in farming should apply for duty-free concession on a vehicle, or can apply for duty-free concessions on a vehicle suited for farming. In other words, you can't be a farmer and you want to get an expensive car to go up in the mountains, because that will not work. The vehicle has to be appropriate to the task at hand. And ideally, in the past, we have preferred four-wheel drive vehicles, particular pickups, because they can take the cargo, your farm from the ground down to the lowlands, into the supermarkets, etc. If there's a difficulty with that, I would say that each farmer who has a difficulty and who continues to be interested should speak with the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture. That is the policy that I know it to be, and that is the policy which the government would want to give its fullest support to as we attempt to beef up our efforts at food security. Pastor Benjamin, it was good to hear you. And I recorded, as it were, the message of support that you have brought to those who are involved in law enforcement. The entire country, I think, at this moment in time, is very pleased by the outstanding success we have had so far in the area of law and order. Over the last 3 years in particular, year on year, we have had a reduction of about 27% in the number of serious crimes in the country. So this is a very good record, and I commend Commissioner Brandy and all the other law enforcement heads and their teams for the excellent achievement we have had so far. To think of it, we have come a long way, when perhaps the conversation tonight would have been about homicides 5-6 years ago. The conversation in the country would have been about that, and the fear in the society through a number of serious interventions by the government. Support, outstanding support to law enforcement. Our last budget was in the region of 99 million thereabout for law enforcement, across police, fire, defense force, prisons, and NEMA. Never before has that level of support been provided to the police. New fleet of vehicles, new accommodations for the SSU, new facilities for the defense force at Greenlands, and we could go on and on. Renovation of almost all of our police stations, etc. And of course our CCTV program, which continues to be built out. But specifically, Pastor Benjamin raised the issue that we had health personnel, and we had Mr. Abdias at NEMA, who were recognized, and deservingly so, for their work in the fight to defeat COVID-19 so far. And he would have felt much more comforted had a similar recognition been accorded to the police. The truth is, it has been an all-of-society approach. And we could look across a variety of the institutions in the country where outstanding support and leadership came. We could have perhaps have someone nominated, the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, for their partnership because from all reports from the task force, they had had a very strong working relationship with the Chamber of Industry and Commerce. Chamber President is no easy walkover, and at times have provided significant challenge because she's a lady with her own mind. But nonetheless, they have been able to come together in the national interest and do the right thing for our country. So, again, for that reason, when on the 16th of September the nominees were announced and those who succeeded, having gone through the process of evaluation by the appropriate committee headed by Mr. Martin, then some names were not there. The good news, however, is that I can say now without naming names that due recognition would be given to the police in the Queen's Honours Awards for the new year. So the police has not been left out. And we hope that the honor accorded to the police would in fact be seen as an award to all involved in law enforcement. I want to thank the lady who raised the issue of packaging in relation to agriculture. I didn't hear clearly Mr. De Costa responded to this. Perhaps he's more into livestock, but that too need proper packaging. But I think that this is an important matter that we have to address going forward. It is one of the constraints, I believe, on the effective marketing of our agricultural produce. How we present them, how do we label them? And we need to do some work on that. And this may be another area in which we could have new business opportunity arising for our people. I want to commend entities like Sun Island Clothes, and we had Mount Strat, well, plastic is not the word, but they provide a range of plastics of different types, which were useful and supportive to the efforts in agriculture. Sun Island deal with the molding of bottles, and I gather there are other entities involved in that. They also do packaging. And we want our farmers and those who are selling farming produce to take pride in the presentation of their products. And even if it costs an extra 5 cents or 10 cents, it is well worth it in terms of how it could impact on your sales and people confidence in you. The caller raised the matter of no rewards, and I was comforted, in fact, this time when one of our farmers, Mr. Terence De Costa, responded to that. And he said what I would have said. When you are doing something that you love, money is not all. Money certainly makes you a lot of evils, but money is no substitute for love. And those who have been involved in farming over the years have done so as a labor of love, taking pride in seeing their crops flourish and come bring yield. And of course, they deserve to live from their labor, and they have been doing so in large measure. They have not become millionaires, some of them. At least we have no way of verifying. What we can say, though, is that many of them live successful, happy lives, and they were able to take care of their families from their work in agriculture. Some of them come to mind. The oldest male in Tabernacle, Ben Jeffrey, spent a lifetime as a farmer. I remember growing up, and like Mr. De Costa, he had been involved in livestock in the mains. And every week he would butcher the animals and have them available for his customers. And his wife and family would do the black pudding and all the other things, the goat water. That was their livelihood, and that was his life. His son, George Jeffrey, is now one of the best livestock farmers we have in Tabernacle, had been part of the Pig Farmers or Growers Association, where a number of livestock farmers had come together to order in bulk farm produce. It was a very good effort at cooperative activity. Regrettably, that did not last as long as we would have liked. So maybe now the new group of persons, the Custer, Buckigatti to call in, Easton, Mawson, who called in tonight to give him support, can come together and help to reduce some of the costs by managing to purchase in bulk some of the produce. So I want to hail some of those farmers who come readily to mind, who have devoted so much into farming. Ben Jeffrey and George Jeffrey in Tabernacle, Winston Morris in Molyneux. And Winston, the records will show, was the lead person at Bayford's farm for a very long time. When Bayford's had closed, he went on to teach agriculture at Keon High School, and then to become the head teacher at Keon High School. And after retirement, Winston returned to his first love, that of farming. And he's enjoying it very much. And, you know, he's also a member of the constituency Domino League. And so he comes from time to time, and those who are there enjoy the puddings and all the other things he brings from his farm. Keith Roy Matthew is a young, outstanding, committed farmer from the Phillips area. I commend also Eustace and Marsh and Smokey. All these are well-known personalities in Molyneux, committed to the farming. There is one who pleased me also, Cromwell Matthew of our mansion. They just love what they're doing. I want to add one well-known in Evis, Danny Atherton, who works at the Central Bank, but will not give up the farming because there's something special about it. And then we have Chubby and Mervyn Patrick, and several others. We could go on into Sadlers, into Parsons, to some of the young people who are involved. There's a fallacy out there that young people are not interested in farming. Indeed, as we tour the farms, we will notice that there is a significant number of serious young farmers who need to be encouraged. People like Bucky Gotti, people like Mr. DeCosta here, still young enough to be called young, you know, and others who are involved doing a pretty good job. Doing a pretty good job in farming. I want to commend them for their seriousness. And why I do believe that farming can make it. I recall a Mr. Warrington Grant, Springfield egg farm, I think it was. Well-known person who had been involved in farming perhaps for a lifetime. And again, I would say that he has been a success story. So it is not true that you cannot do well in farming. All these persons, I believe, would give excellent testimony in support that it is worth the effort to become involved in farming. There are challenges, the monkey problem, still an ongoing one. The seasonality of the weather at times damper the output. All these constraints, though, we have to work, if we are serious about food security, to address them through technology, to shade houses, to drip irrigation, and a range of other ideas. What I would say I would want to see is that all farm-specific items become duty-free, because I'm hearing that some of them are not. So, if Mr. Costa can provide me with a list of those things that are not on the duty-free list, I can ensure you have to bring it early, within this week, by next week, Tuesday. We will ensure that we can act on this for the upcoming budget. Because as I said, the vision must be, having regard to your call, you use a word that is out of fashion now, subsidies, but we need to ensure that we buttress the farming sector with adequate support. In the same way, as a matter of policy and law, we buttress the manufacturing sector providing them with duty-free concessions, tax holidays for extensive period of time. For the same way, we give duty-free concessions to the hotels that are being built, and even when they are open and their inputs and products, we need to give equal support to the farming community to ensure it can play a much more significant role in nation building and in national life. And I promise, as the son of a farmer, as a country boy who understands farming, who have gone all the way into the mountains with my grandfather, and all my grandmother cautioned me, is that you see how your grandfather that worked so hard, I want something better for you. I never appreciate what she meant. One of the things I did recall, she did not want me to go to cut the sugar cane, and I didn't want to go there because it was hard work. Too hard a work for a young boy at the time to be drawn to. So I understand some of the difficulties of the farming community, and I want to make a difference with your help to turn the curve and really to create what I've said repeatedly. St. Kitts and Nevis must become the Garden of Eden in many respects. A country booming, a country prosperous, a country where every person has an opportunity to advance by his effort. And importantly, I want in closing to say that we have to reach to a position where we are minded that we will not get anywhere far unless we are committed to the journey. We will not get anywhere far unless we understand that it's our industry, our hard work, our perseverance. Those are the attributes that will get us there. And certainly our creativity. There are going to be obstacles. We have to find a way to meander, to get around them, to get to the journey. And so that would be my encouragement to the farmers, to every boy and every girl. You can get to the destination. There are going to be obstacles. Let us use your industry. You must use your industry and your creativity to get to the destination. The government and other persons in the society would wish and may give you the help, but you are smart enough. Everything now almost you can Google and find and improve upon. We want you to advance. Finally, to the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis. St. Kitts and Nevis, we have a lot of potential as a country. We have a lot of potential as a country and a people. Let us work together, because working together, we can achieve more. The success of our fight to defeat COVID-19 has only been as amazingly great as it has been because we developed early an all of society approach. So we had the Chambers of Industry and Commerce giving excellent, constructive support to the efforts of the experts and to the task force. We had excellent support coming from the church and the broader religious community. We had excellent support coming from those who are involved in a variety of professional delivery service. Our bankers, the Banking Association came together and everyone recognized the moment. We are still at a moment in time in which a coordinated national response is now needed to take us from the depths of an economic recession which the entire world is focused on. I heard President-elect Biden saying that the number one priority is the recovery effort after he becomes officially the 46th, I think, President of the United States of America. The most powerful country in the world, the United States of America, will exist this COVID, damaged, bruised, and battered, like any other weak country around the world. COVID-19 then is not a respecter of persons, of countries, of size. And the sooner all of us in St. Kitts and Nevis realize that, and the sooner we agree that we will marshal all of our efforts to fight a good fight, to get beyond this, and to bring our country to work again for our own national benefit, the better it will be. So I pray God's blessing on our country, and that we continue to look out for each other. May God again keep our country strong, prosperous, and safe. Again, thank you very much to all of the panelists who have done such an excellent job to assist in the national conversation regarding where the country must go. But what was useful is that we have heard from each of the panelists what they or their unit can do to assist us in the forward move. Thanks again for listening, and God bless us all.